Yes, my bed is messy. I'm here to talk, and this is gonna be a longer video. Alexa, make the lamp 75%. Alexa? Yeah, so shout out to Talia for this idea. This is something a little different. I'm really talking about myself. I feel very proud to be where I'm at today. And this wouldn't be possible if I didn't go through the things that I did growing up. And I feel like it's always nice to look back on the goods and the bads and appreciate, what happened and how you were able to become the person you are today because of those struggles and successes. So, and some of these things, people if you are my friend and you've known me for a while, maybe you didn't know these things about me. By the way, my name is Steven. I grew up in San Jose. I moved a lot when I was going to school in elementary. I was making friends everywhere I went. That wasn't really a struggle for me, but to keep those friends around obviously was impossible because I wasn't able to see them. Eventually, my parents got divorced, and then I remember we settled down in Milpitas. That was Weller Elementary School, and that's where things kind of grew from then. I went to the middle school there, and that's where I started making some of my friends. One of my friends I knew since elementary school, but we didn't start getting close until middle school. And then in middle school, I had a bigger group, and we were a very diverse group. We had Asians, Indians, Hispanics, black, and whites. Yeah, we had all races in our group. Our group was fairly big. I mean, we called it, it's so stupid. We called it the squad. Yeah, every weekend we'd get together and hang out. It was like a religion. There weren't times where we didn't have a weekend. We'd go swimming, we'd hang around the high school that we don't go to. We go do some function. We go exploring. Oh my god! Wow, I'm opening back up memories. We used to go to these like hidden places. We had like nicknames for it. We called one hideout, and this was like you hop the fence to go through a trail, and it went. And there was like a tunnel, and I never went through the tunnel, but the other people that did, they went in like the second time. It led to a park. That was one, and then there was another one called Trespass. That was the nickname. I forgot where that one was, but I remember the name. But yeah, I mean, overall, that group was really fun. It was very interesting. It wasn't messy, but people liked each other. Some people were cliquey. I just remember getting bullied a lot. I feel like I was the punching bag in the group, to be honest. At the time, like, I didn't really mind it. I didn't really think I was getting bullied. I thought they were just, joking around and like playing into the stereotypes. But, looking back on it, definitely I was the one that was always getting talked shit on. I took it like a man. I was never crying or anything like that. Like I wasn't like the guy that they bullied and, like he would like leave, like that stereotypical kind of comic or movie kind of bullying. I think everyone has different definitions on that. But I remember I was getting physically as well. The girls, for some reason, I don't know why, they would kick me in the balls. Why the fuck would anybody do that? Why would you kick another person in the balls? I know middle school, it's like I guess it's like flirty, if you like somebody. But deadass, there were some people that just like wanted to kick me, bro. And I was just like, what the fuck? To the point, dude, this one girl kicked me and I fucking cried. And that's like the only time I cried in front of them because that was a lot of pain. That's a fucking lot of pain. Who the fuck? Why? Every time we went out on the weekends, I had my GoPro and I would always film our hangouts and then I would make a compilation. I would call them squad comps. I think that's what I really enjoyed about hanging out with people, and I still do today. I like filming what went on and being able to look back on it in like a cooler way. I don't really do that too much now because I do feel weird about bringing my phone out. I feel a little weird about filming on my phone, but I don't know why I don't do it as often. I should be doing it. I love editing. I love looking back on memories. That's kind of what not jump started, but I think that's where my creative media interest came from, was filming the hangouts, and that started in middle school. High school came around, and I had to move. I was only in the area for one semester, and then I had to move to Santa Clara. So then I had to make new friends. Luckily, I was able to find a stable group by my sophomore year. You know, sometimes you just have to go around and meet new people and then see who you click with. I think it's almost like dating friendships, you know, finding out who you vibe with the most and having a lot first and then being able to choose from there because you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's a lot of fake people out there, especially in girl relationships. I do see this a lot. I see this a lot, and I don't think anybody would listen to me or any female would listen to me. But it's like from what I've seen, it's always girl relationships are competition. Who's like the hotter one and like who can pull the best dude. It's never really like deep like that. But I know there are deep meaningful relationships with females, right? But I see a lot of surface level relationships with females. And then in high school, I didn't really like it too much because I came from a really diverse place, right? Milpitas, it was like a little ghetto, and then Santa Clara was very whitewashed. There weren't many Asians there. There were Asians. I feel like I just didn't fit in the school. I kind of just have had to adapt, which you know, there wasn't really a big deal for me. I mean, it's high school. Anything major that really came from high school, good amount of friends that I met through high school. Just to name a few: Buck Walter, Long, Nathan. I mean, there's a few people that I know still, but am I still in contact with them? No. But like, are they good friends? Yeah, yeah. But I think the ones that I still talk to on a like monthly. I did volleyball. I did football. 1 year respectively. And I think my one regret in high school is just not doing more sports. I was very shy. I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel I had enough like training to confidently go into a sport and be like, yeah, I can try out for this, you know? Because my mom didn't have that much money and that was her excuse for me not doing any other practices, but she never really made the effort. But that's another story. Yeah, I mean, I don't think nothing major really happened in high school that I can really talk about. So I graduated high school and then I had this job at a coffee shop. That's where I met my first girlfriend. Interesting thing about it was for like my first day, I was like, oh dang, who's that? And then so I'm smart about it. Okay, I'm not gonna go up and just be like, is she blah blah blah. I have to ask the friend, see, hey, like, does she have a boyfriend? Like, how old is she? Blah blah blah. But then when I heard her age, I was 18 at the time, and she was 20, I believe. And then I was just thinking to myself, oh fuck, like, she's older than me, she's not gonna want to date me, right? But I do find her attractive and I found her interesting, so I just kind of like try to be friends with her. I would make my shifts morning shifts because she only worked the morning, she never worked the night. So then I was like that dynamic person that can work morning and night. And yeah, I remember like she was talking to other dudes. So one of the admins, I would tell her all about it, like how much I have a crush on her, blah blah blah, and she's all telling me this, like, oh, you should try, like, stop being a pussy, blah blah blah, and like we would hang out, and she would like try to give me advice. And like she would have all of us hang out together, and in a way she was like playing Cupid, and I'm kind of surprised that it worked because it did work. I don't know why it worked. I don't, because I was out of her league. I was so out of her league. I had no clue why, because I saw the previous guy she was dated, and then you know what I think though? I wasn't talking to any girls, and I was like in pursuit of her, but um I think one day I was just like, oh fuck, look, I'm talking to this girl. But not actually. I was just like doing it just to kind of make her jealous, And then it ends up working. And then she ends up getting jealous, and then we end up dating after that. But yeah, she was out of my league for sure. And the relationship was great, to be honest. Like, we never argued, and I like looking back on it. Like, yeah, I fucked up. It was my first love. I fucked up for sure. But it's I mean, you could look back on it and be like, yeah, this was like a really nice time in my life where it was during COVID too, so we like basically lived together. um I had never been in a relationship before. She has, but I yeah, I It's one of those relationships where it's like you didn't really get too deep with the person, but you know, they were there, but you still appreciated their company. And I think we were fine the way we were at. But yeah, I ended up ending things with her. It was all my fault. It was my fault. Let's put it that way. I put myself in a box because of it. I went through a really bad long stage of my life because of this mistake that I made. And you would think I would have handled it. You would think I would have handled it way differently. But I literally took it in the worst way possible, even though I broke up with her. Okay. Alexa, make the lamp 100%. I think that's fine. I think that's a little better. I went through depression and I went through a phase in my life where I was partying, drinking, going on a lot of dates, trying to fill the void when I really wasn't finding self love. I never really understood that. I never understood how to love myself after leaving a person. The thing that hurt me the most in that breakup was the regret, but I didn't accept my own faults. That was my mistake. But you know, you live and you learn, man. It took me 2 years to fully comprehend it and like get over it. You know, some people never understand it either. So I'm glad that I was able to do it. Through that second portion of my life, I broke up with her when I was 20. No, 19. Yeah, 19. And fuck, I had this party phase up until I was 22. 3 years of partying, drinking, and women. And this is honestly like probably the most unhealthy point in my life where I was dealing with a lot of different things and didn't really know how to deal with it. It's my fault for bringing those things into my life and not being able to be strong. I digress. At 22, I got into a relationship. Not that she was a bad person or anything. I think I forced myself into a relationship not really knowing what I was getting myself into. And to each his own, okay? Her style of loving was completely different than what I wanted and what I was kind of expecting. She had these expectations of me that I couldn't meet, and I tried to compromise as much as I could, but it got to the point where I wasn't doing the right things. And knew I wasn't doing the right things. And I wanted to walk away because I wasn't loving you in the way that you want to be loved, okay? So I broke up with her, and then I got back with her. And I broke up with her. I got back with her, and I was on and off for 2 years. And I look at it now, and like just the way I'm talking about it right now compared to all the other things that happened in my life. You know, I was very energetic and like happy to talk about. It's not that I'm not happy about this. It's just like it's still fresh, and I haven't fully accepted it. And it's just sad because I feel like I wasted my time, but it's not a waste of time. I'm gonna look back at this as a lesson. But you know, I feel like I learned a lot from this relationship, not just like relationship stuff, but like learning to love myself. And I think this is a very developing time of my life, and I can really appreciate that. I'm 24. I'm about to turn 25 next year, and my brain's about to be fully developed. Shout out to the brain. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm in my healing phase. I went through therapy. I don't know if men are open to talk about things like this, but I am very open. And I would hope that, you know, other people are open to talking about sensitive subjects like this. You know, it's not easy. And whatever you're going through, there's always somebody out there that you could talk to. Or you can talk to yourself on a camera in a room all alone. Whatever floats your boat. The things that I hate right now that I'm going through is that I feel some type of way for the things I can't control. Like if I see certain things that she does, right, or hear about it. And it's not it's like it's not my fault. I do overthink a little bit. But yeah, that's my life story, I guess.